Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out some new Fenty eye makeup. So I have one of the new Snap Shadows here. This is Snap Shadow palette number 9. This is the Wine Neutrals palette. And we're going to be checking out one of the new mascaras. This is in the shade Miss Merlot. So I do have the products on my eyes now. I'm going to take y'all back and show y'all how I did this look using these two products, and then I will give y'all my overall thoughts on them. So before we get started, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by and welcome. Make sure you stop what you're doing right now and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you click on my notification bell. I do try to post new makeup videos at least 2 times a week, and make sure you let me know in the comments if you subscribe, because I love to meet y'all, and I definitely want to just say thank you for subscribing, because you would really be helping me out. And for those of you who are returning visitors to the channel, welcome back and thank you so much for coming back. And as always, thanks for your continued support. Thank y'all so much for sticking in there with me. I really do appreciate it. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. Okay, so here is the palette here, and again, this is Snap Shadow number 9. It's called the Wine palette. Let me show you guys some swatches. I was gonna swatch all of them at the same time, but I'll show you these 3 first. These are the 3 shimmer shades. These are called Pop the Cork, Bottle Service, and She Bubbly. So the first one is Pop the Cork, Bottle Service, and She Bubbly. So these are the 3 shimmer shades in the palette. And here are the 3 matte shades. So this one is called Rose Spritz, this one is called Pinot Please, and this one is Sherry Fairy. So these are the 3 matte shades. I do kind of feel like these matte shades, they kind of swatched not the best, but we'll see how it is on the eyes. But these are the 3 mattes. Alright, so let's jump right into the demo. I'm going to start off by priming my lids, and I'm going to start with the MAC Paint Pot. This is in the shade Painterly, and I'm just going to put this one toward the lower part of my lid, my mobile lid. And I am going to drag this up a little bit, like as high as I think I want my lid colors to go. That might end up being a little too high, but we'll see when I start putting the eyeshadow on. And this concealer that I'm putting up on my brow bone, this is NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is just a mini one, but this is in the shade Chestnut. And I'm just blending that out like right on top of the MAC concealer. I just like doing 2 different concealers on the lid. A brighter one toward the lower part of the lid, and then like a more skin tone one right up above, or right up on my brow bone. So I'm going to start off with the shade Bottle Service. So that is this shimmery shade in the middle here. I think I'm going to let that be my main lid color for today. I tried to do my own nails. I tried to do dip powder for the first time, so that's why they look the way they look. So just disregard that. But I'm going to put this on most of my lid here. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of room in the inner corner, because I'm going to go in with another shade in there. And I'm also going to leave a little bit of space on the outer corner. So that's what it looks like applied with a brush. And compared to the other Snap Shadows that I have, I think it looks nice. Like, I think it's applying just fine with a dry brush. But I am going to go over that with my finger just so that we can see if it's any more pigmented. And it is. It's a little bit more pigmented with the finger as expected, but I think it looks nice. It's a nice color. Next, I'm taking this dark brown shimmery shade. This is called Pop the Cork. I'm going to put that on the outer part of the lid. So I'm using that same brush. I'm just turning it over to the other side, and I'm just packing it on the outer part of the lid, and I'm packing it on so that the color is nice and pigmented. And then I'm going to go back and do some blending. And then the other shimmery shade, this is called She Bubbly. I'm going to use that for the inner part of my lid. And I am letting this one kind of overlap that cranberry shade just a little bit. So this is also going to be my inner corner highlight. I might go on top of the inner corner, like the tear duct area, with something else a little bit later on. But I think for right now, I'm going to have that be my inner corner and drag it on up into that cranberry shade. I'm going to take the same brush that I just used to put that color on my inner corner. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that cranberry shade, and I'm just going to lightly brush in between, like where those two colors meet, just so that they can kind of fuse in just a little bit better and look just more blended together. And then let's take, I'm trying to use all the colors in the palette, so I hope that this comes out looking okay, but I'm going to take the matte purple shade. This is called Pinot Please. I'm going to have that be the shade on my lower lash line. So normally whatever shade I use on my outer corner, I use the same thing on my lower lash line, but I'm going to take this purple one and see how I like that. So when I put shadow on my lower lash line, I like to concentrate it just on the outer part. I just don't like it the way that it looks if I try to put eyeshadow all over the lower lash line. So I just concentrate it right on the outer part of it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this other light brown matte shade. I'm gonna use that to buff everything out. So I'm basically gonna be buffing this shade around that brown shimmery shade on my lid. And I'm gonna take it like almost all the way in to the inner corner. And even though this shade on the outer corner is a shimmer shade and this shade that I'm using to buff it out is a matte, they look exactly the same to me on my lid. I was hoping for a little bit more contrast, but they're coming off like being exactly the same shade. But I guess like if you're out in the sunlight and it's hitting that shimmery shade, I guess you can see the contrast that way. So I'm also going to take this and I'm going to drag it along the lower lash line right under that purple shade. That's going to help buff that purple shade out a little bit. And then I'm also going to use that to connect the eyeshadow on the bottom lash to the eyeshadow on the top. But I do feel like I want to go in and enhance this purple a little bit more. I feel like I just buffed it out too much. So I do want it to be noticeable. And I'm just concentrating this kind of like right where I'm stopping the purple so that there's not a harsh stop right there. And lastly, I'm going to take this light matte shade here. I'm going to try that as a brow bone highlight. If I don't like it, if I feel like it's coming off too ashy, I'll go on top of it with something else. But I'm going to try this for now, see how it works out. So I'm just going to lightly brush right along the arch of my brow. I feel like it's not even showing up. I can barely see it, so I'm hoping y'all can make it out on camera. But as I expected, it's like a very light, hardly noticeable shade on my skin tone. So let me know if y'all can make that out on camera, because it is like, it's barely noticeable. All right, I'm just going to take my sponge and just kind of clean up around the edges just a little bit. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like so far. I always feel like on this eye, the shade that I put in my tear duct area, to me, it always looks like it's a lot more over here than on this eye, because on this eye, my tear duct area is just a bit more like sunken in, like more deep set, I guess. But other than that, I think I like the way that it looks so far. So before we move on to the mascara, I'm going to finish up my face makeup. I'm going to do my bronzer, blush, and highlighter, and then we'll move back to the face. So because this is like a Fenty video today, I'm gonna try to use a lot of Fenty stuff on my face. I do have the Fenty foundation on, but I'll have everything that I have on in my description box. But I'm gonna use some stuff that I may not necessarily use on a regular basis. So for my bronzer, I'm gonna be using the Stalk'r bronzer in the shade Coco Naughty. This is a little too dark for me, which is why I hardly use it. I wish I had gone up a shade, but I can, get away with this. I just have to be like very light-handed with this one. So I'm just gonna bronze my cheeks and my forehead with this. And because I have to go in like kind of light-handed with this, it also takes me longer to bronze when I use this, because I think I'm just too scared to pick up as much product as I end up using in one swipe, if that makes sense. I'd rather just go in little by little so I don't end up applying too much. So I don't have a Fenty blush because I just didn't want to buy a cream blush, so I really hope that they come out with matte powder blushes at some point. But I do have another Snap Shadow. This is Snap Shadow number 5. This is called the Warm Peach palette. I do use this as blush sometimes, so I'm just going to go in with these 3 matte shades on the bottom. I'm just going to swipe my brush in all of those shades and use that as my blush. And I like this as a blush on me because I like warm, like peachy shades on my cheeks. So it works out for that. So, but yeah, I do hope that they come out with some matte blushes at some point. And for highlighter, I'm going to be using one of the Kilowatt Duos. I'm going to use this brown shade over here. This is called Sandcastle. And I'm just going to put just a little bit on the high points of my cheek. I feel like I just put too much over there. These highlighters are really nice when you want to kind of like make a statement. But they also look nice when you apply them. Just like a little bit of it, they come off as like a really nice subtle highlighter too. So I'm going to take my foundation brush and just go over this highlighter just a little bit, just to tone it down. And then I'm going to take some of my Fenty refreshing spray and I'm going to set everything with this. I don't have a Fenty eyeliner, so today I'm going to be using the Essence 24 Ever ink liner. I'm going to do this off camera because it does take me a little bit to do my eyeliner, so I'll do this off camera, then I'll come back and then we will start with the mascara. Okay, and moving on to the mascara, this one is in the shade Miss Merlot. It's like a nice burgundy or wine color. So that is what this looks like. Sorry, that was a notice on my phone. So I usually don't do mascara on camera because it takes me forever to put mascara on, but I will be doing this on camera today since this is one of the products that we're demoing on camera. So I'm just going to start with like one even coat all over my top lash. And the color of it is really pretty. I'm going to have to go in with more so that y'all can really see the color of it. And this is actually my first time using a colored mascara and my first time using a Fenty mascara. I'm hoping that y'all can see the color of it. It is really pretty. However, I don't really care for the way it's applying. Like if this is the same way that the black mascara applies, like it wouldn't be like one of my favorite mascaras. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more and I'm just gonna try to concentrate it like on the tips of my lashes. Yeah, I don't really care for how it's applying, so what I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you guys have ever tried like mixing in powder with your mascara to make it a bit more longer and fuller. So I'm gonna put some of this mascara on the top part of the lashes too, and then put another coat on underneath the lashes. And then while this mascara is still wet, I'm just going to go in with the bronzer because I already have that out in my hand. So while this mascara is still wet, I'm just going to pick up like any kind of like dense brush. And then I'm going to pat some of this bronzer on top of the mascara on the bottom and the top of it. And then I'm going to go on top of that powder with another coat of mascara, and let's see if that makes a difference. So yeah, I do think that made a difference, but I do still think I had to put on quite a few coats of this mascara. Like comparing this to some of my other favorite ones, I have a couple of other ones that I feel like I can just put like 1 or 2 swipes on and my lashes look nice and long. With this one, I just feel like it's not quite as impactful as some of the other mascaras that I've used. But let's go ahead and do the other eye. I like to do both of my top lashes first and then my bottom lashes. So let me move on to the other eye. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing using the bronzing powder to put some of the powder on top of the mascara. If you've never done this before to like enhance your mascara, you can use any kind of powder. You can use like a loose powder. I usually just use an eyeshadow palette, and I'll just take like whatever like dark matte shade is in the palette, but you can use any color powder, but I would use something that's not going to clash with the color of the mascara, obviously. But you can do this with any kind of powder. Okay, so that's what my top lashes look like. I'm definitely gonna have to do my lower lash line off camera because there's no way I can like stay in frame and do it. So I'm gonna put this on my lower lash line and I'll come back to show y'all what the finished look looks like on my eyes. Okay, so here is my finished eye look, and I don't think it looks bad. It's not my favorite, but I don't care for it too much. When I was putting this on my lower lash line, I felt like I had to like really push the product into my lashes on the lower lash line to get some payoff. So as a result of that, it created like an eyeliner effect on the lower lash line. I don't know if y'all can make that out, but I actually don't think that the eyeliner effect looks bad at all because the color of it is tying in with the rest of the eyeshadow look. So that part doesn't look bad. I just felt like it took me a really long time to apply this to the lower lash line because it just wasn't as easy to apply as some of the other mascaras that I use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish everything off with some lipsticks, and then I will give y'all my final thoughts on these two products. I think I'm going to go in with more of a simple lip for today. I was going to use one of the Fenty matte lipsticks. This one is in the shade PMS, but I think instead I'm going to go in with one of the sheer lipsticks. This one is in the shade Coco Berry, and this one is just like a really simple like brown nude lip for me. I have Vaseline on my lips and I meant to wipe that off before I put this on, but I think y'all can still make out the color. So yeah, let me put a little bit more on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here is my complete face for today. So let me just give you an overview of what I think about these two products. First, the eyeshadow palette. I do really like it, and I figured I would because I have two other snap shadows that I really like the pigmentation of it. I like the way that they blend out. I like the color scheme of this. I think it's very nice and fall toned, and I'm really getting into fall looks, which I think all of us are now. So I'm very happy with this. This shade here, I don't think it showed up very much on my brow bone, so this one I probably wouldn't use very much, but all of the other shades I was very happy with. So I really like this one. And the mascara, I'm not too crazy about it because number one, just because this has color to it and it's not a black mascara, I think right off the bat it's just not going to be as impactful as a black mascara. But aside from that, I don't really care for the way that this applied. I have other mascaras that, like I said earlier, I can just put like 1 or 2 coats of the mascara on, and I think it gives me a lot of length and I think it gives me a lot of volume, whereas this one I just feel like I have to apply a lot more of it to get that effect, and I feel like I had to go on top of it with powder to make it more full looking. So it was just, you know, it's not a horrible mascara, it's just not my favorite, and especially because it's color. Like I just didn't really know what to expect in terms of how the color was going to look. I definitely think that this matches the eyeshadow really well, but I don't know how often I'm gonna be picking this up because it just wasn't like one of my favorite products. But you know, I just bought it just to try out some colorful mascara and see how I would like it. But overall, I do really like this. This one is not my favorite. So those are my thoughts on these two products. If you picked these up or if you got the other eyeshadow palette, I'll pop a picture of the other palette that they came out with and the mascara. I'll pop a picture on the screen here. So if you got any of these new products, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the eyeshadow and the mascara that I have on today. So I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you head out today, and I hope to see y'all back here for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.